I want to give a huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Therapy isn't something to run away from, it's a vessel to run towards. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online, so break out your comfies. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time. Anytime. And schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. No more fumbling to get a session on the calendar. You schedule based on when the time is right for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. Therapy changed my life for the better. Pun intended. And with BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Rocky. That's betterhelp.com/Rocky. Another year around the sun, that's right. This Saturday, April 29th, is my 35th birthday. Can you even believe little Rocky hitting 35? I've never felt more in my prime, baby. We are cooking with gas. I wanted to share some knowledge I've learned along the way that maybe will help you too. Some of it might be hippy-dippy, but I'm a hippy-dippy bitch. Be grateful. Life can always be worse, even if you feel like it can't. If you find yourself laying in bed, contemplating the stressors of the day, reframe your thoughts. Damn, I'm grateful to be laying in this comfy-ass bed in my warm house next to a phone that could reach out to the people I love at any moment. That's lucky, and that's fortunate. People can change, but they usually don't. That's why the age 35 is an important one, because most people in the rat race of life stay the same after 35. It's true. That can be an age you freeze at, a personality you become married to for the rest of your life, unless you actively work to create better habits and mindsets. Your mind is really powerful. So let it work in your favor and always be working to change for the better. Take care of future you and thank past you for taking care of future you when you meet them in the present. That means, you have a task you could be doing that would make your day, week, month, or year better. Just do it now. Laundry, sending an email or a text, paying for something. You have to be with you all the time. And when you're taking care of business, you only make room for more business to come through. Don't tell people secrets. If someone says, I have to tell you something, but you can't tell anyone, don't tell anyone. Unless they're putting someone in danger or it's a secret that will jeopardize you personally, work on fortifying a trust rather than cashing in on tea. Also, if you feel like someone in your life needs a hug, bro, give them a hug. Hey, can I give you a hug? Energy is real, and sometimes you could 180 someone's entire day with that gesture. Do it scared. Rihanna said that, and it really, really stuck with me. You have something you want to try or learn or post or say or something you want to achieve, but you're scared or you have imposter syndrome. Do that shit scared. We cannot and we will not grow in a comfort zone. I'm scared of things all the time, but afterwards the bravery of following my feet is always rewarded, or I learn a valuable lesson. It's a win-win, bitch. Nobody out here knows what they're doing. This just in. We're all making it up. If you have a person in your life that's more knowledgeable on a subject you want to be more knowledgeable about, and they can help you with said knowledge, ask them to pick their brain. But have your questions prepared so you never waste their time. Show people you're serious about learning from them. And lastly, when the moment comes to be wild, baby. Let your hair down and be free, because you only got one life until the next one.
Time for
Duh.
Rocket
Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello. Did you have a good week? I sure hope so. I, myself, am hungover. That's right, I am. But you don't want to hear about the hangover. You don't want to hear about the nausea. You don't want to hear about the not being able to eat. You don't want to hear about the forgetting the Advil in my pocket, thinking I puked it up. You don't want to hear about that stuff. You want to hear about the journey that got me there. Saturday night, my friend Cynthia picked me up in her vehicle to go out to Manhattan. My whole life, I always wanted to be one of those people who drove to fun happenings in the city on a Saturday night in a vehicle. And I'm not talking about an Uber or a Lyft. I'm talking about a vehicle with the people I'm spending the night with. When I had a car, I would drive to fun happenings in the city all the time. Now I don't have a car. And I just fantasize about being a person who drives to the city for the fun happenings. But my friend Cynthia made my daydream come true. And it was raining really hard. And I was in open-toed shoes, no less. What a pal she is. Then I partied my ass off, literally. I love the party, baby. I saw at least 4 Wild Nights past guests, friends of the pod, and I really got to hang with them and vibe with them and party with them. And we danced, and I love dancing. I never want to stop dancing. I can dance in the mirror. I can dance in the grocery store. I can dance in my sleep. Not to get green eggs and ham with it, but I could dance with a sheep. But the best place to dance, besides wherever you want, is the dance floor with good music and good people, and that's where I was. I will say, I made quite a few rookie mistakes. Yikes! I didn't eat enough. I didn't sleep enough. And I went drink for drink all night with Liam, friend of the pod, episode 108, if you want to go back for a refresher. Have you ever had a gym buddy or a study buddy? What happens when you have someone who keeps you accountable? You're more likely to complete the task. And oh baby, did Liam and I complete the task. I can honestly say I've never blacked out on tequila except for once, but I think someone slipped me a Mickey that night. Other people think it's because I mixed beer and tequila, but let's not split hairs. Don't worry, I made it home safely that night, just woke up fully clothed on my floor with spilled tequila in my purse. But that was a different wild night. I'm talking about this past Saturday night. I certainly blacked out Saturday evening drinking tequila all night. But I blacked out with my card intact. Both umbrellas that I left my house with, they made it back to my house intact. I had my jacket and my other jacket. All my belongings were in tow, and Cynthia got me back safe because she is a true friend. So shout out to her. And while we're on the subject of Cynthia, her podcast, the Sin and Twin podcast, is premiering this Monday. The podcast she's doing with her twin brother is putting the spotlight on entertainment in the Hudson Valley, and it's going to be so dope. Please give it a listen. And remember, eat when you're going to have a wild night. This is an amateur hour, even if it is, you dig? That brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Number 1, I saw Karen in the wild. Yes, I did. I was stoned downtown, and she was yelling slurs and causing a ruckus, and instead of letting that moment be my big going viral break and launching my career into the stratosphere, I got paranoid that I'd somehow end up on the video with her, and I was dressed like I never cared to find a suitor. A mess. So I just scuttled to the train, and the Karen went free. Number 2, I sent a picture of a guy I was maybe going to meet the other night to someone, and I will protect her identity, but I sent the pic in hopes that the response would be, yes, so cute. Instead, she genuinely and gently said, well, looks aren't everything, which low-key hurt my feelings but also sent me into a spiral of stoned laughter. Number 3, swagger tops everything. Everything. Having swag is hypnotic. Number 4, your recently deleted folder is honestly just a snitch. My guest this week is comedian Jenae Boston. Jenae's wild word was doing the most. And I personally will take Jenae doing the most any day because she is hilarious. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Wild Nights with Rocky, on Twitter at Wild Nights Pod. If you want to watch extended interviews with all of my guests, please subscribe on YouTube. You can support the show for $2 or $5 a month by joining my Patreon. I post a weekly Irish lesson. I had a big guy drop today, same as the episode. So check that out, will ya? Let's keep the endangered Irish language alive. One Patreon subscriber at a time. A big thank you and a future thank you to everyone who's written and everyone who will write a review on Apple Podcasts. It really does make a difference. And now, please enjoy my Wild Nights conversation with Jenae Boston. Jenae, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to have you. We almost didn't even get started because we were getting so giddy about both being tea drinkers.
Yes, I think the most intelligent people drink tea, honestly.
Honestly, me too. Do you drink it with your pinky up? Because I do now.
Because I'm above the status quo. That's for
much.
coffee people.
Thank you very much. How long have you been a tea drinker?
Pretty much all my life.
Yeah.
I don't really do coffee. I don't do chocolate, and I don't really eat candy like that. So I'm just kind of weird all around.
Well, yeah, I don't really have a sweet tooth either. The coffee, when I did drink coffee, I would drink it with nothing in it. I would just drink it straight up. And then I haven't drank coffee regularly since May of last year. I had some the other day because I have a friend who he has his own coffee business. So he made everybody a little taste. When I tell you, I felt like I did a line of cocaine after drinking this coffee. What is that cartoon that like bounces through the roof?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
You know what I mean, right? Yeah. It like bounces through the roof. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that the coffee affected me like that.
That's funny. Yeah, then that's exactly why I don't do it. When I was young, I got high off of sugar, so
yeah,
I can't do coffee. Yeah, I would be like jittery. Yeah, my dad was like that. I pretended like I was drunk.
Really?
So coffee is just not for me.
So honestly, your dad would be like, "Hey, Jenae, you are doing the most with the sugar."
See that flag? Yes.
Thank you. So Jenae,
and it's cute.
Thank you. So Jenae's wild word was doing the most. So Jenae, I'm dying to know what direction the story is going in, what it's going to be about. So please give us your wild night story, doing the most.
Okay, so that's just kind of like my brand. I'm always for doing the most. And just give you the context. So when I was in college, I went to Hampton University, and there was this guy that I was just so obsessed with. Like, I thought he was so cute.
Yeah.
He was in my philosophy class. And you know, sometimes in college, you have classes like it's either Tuesday, Thursday, or like Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yes.
When I tell you I went hard for this man that I did not even know, I planned out outfits. Like, I would say my best outfits for Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Because that's when I knew I had class with him. I mean, like, it was so serious that if I got dressed like on a Wednesday and I was too cute, I was like, oh my God, I have to take this off.
Yeah. I got to save this for Thursday.
So I finally, we hang out. He invites me over to his crib. So I'm so excited.
What I need a little bit more for the listeners for the class. So this wasn't just you showing up to class, like fawning over him, being like, hi, you don't know my name. Like, it wasn't that.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I was like there to make a statement.
Okay. You know? So you guys started talking in class.
Yeah. Okay. So I just was like, I have to show up as the best Jenae. I have to be super fly. I never direct like, oh my God, like, do you want to be my boyfriend? But I'm just like, I'm Jenae, I'm fabulous.
Yes.
We're in this philosophy class, not paying attention, said nothing to the teacher. Finally, he's like, yo, I'm going to have some friends over on Friday. You should come over. I'm like, oh my God, this is my opportunity. So we go over there. He has these bottles of alcohol. It's like I don't know, what the fuck do you drink in college? Probably Bacardi or some shit like
Bacardi,
that.
Smirnoff, yeah.
Exactly. But the problem was he did not have enough cups for everyone.
Oh.
But I did not want the party to stop because I'm like, this is my moment.
Yeah.
And this is somebody's son that I'm gonna impress. So I so I was like, I don't need a cup. I just grabbed the bottle and I just start chugging straight out of the bottle.
Yeah, it was probably like Bacardi
and,
apple or something.
and he is looking at his friends is like, yo, that's the girl you like.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like she is taking it back. And he was like, you don't have to do that. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
So now I'm wasted. And I completely forget about my dream guy to the point that I've left him at this point and I moved. So I basically did all of this for nothing, all this pre-prep for nothing. I'm like, I can't be here. Like, I'm too wasted. I leave. I'm like, I have to go. He doesn't want to come with me. I'm like skipping through apartment complexes to find my other friends. We start playing spades. I don't know if you know anything about spades.
I know it's wild.
Super serious, something I take very seriously. But like I said, we got to remember, I have chugged pretty much a whole bottle of vodka at this point. I'm playing spades for the first time in my life. I'm really feeling what it feels like to see double. I think I'm like almost seeing triple at this point. I mean, like I'm reneging. People are yelling at me. They're like, Jenae, what the fuck is wrong with you? They roasting me. I'm like, no one's noticing that I'm that messed up because everybody else is fucked up too.
They're in the zone of spades too.
Exactly. So I go to the bathroom. Now I'm like dead in the bathroom for at least like an hour before my friend Nate comes in. He's like about to pull his dick out to pee. And he's like, oh shit, Jenae's dead. Like just like that. So it's like, you know how when you're like out of it and you can hear, but you can't really like act. So I hear him and he's like, yo, Jenae's dead. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, he's like, no, really come in. So my friends used to be slumped over side of the tub. They have to call in like the emergency unit to get me back to the dorm. Because I don't know if you know anything about Hampton University, but if you get caught like drinking or anything, like you will be kicked out of school.
What?
Expelled.
Yeah.
You have to be like out by 5 the next day. And I was still staying on campus at the time. And they told me, I'm gonna wrap it up. It's kind of this multi-part story.
No.
They get the emergency unit, which is basically like guys that we know that think like we're cool and shit.
Yeah.
So now they're like carrying me back to the dorm. Somebody told me that they were gonna say hi to me, but they didn't because they realized like I was not even in my own body.
Yeah. You were on another plane.
I was like, at first I was gonna be like, what's up today? It was like, but then you look like the Walking Dead, just like straight zombie. I was like, your friends was like, some guy had you on one shoulder, your arm was on another shoulder. And so my friends, best
pair
friends
of sunglasses on, just
yes. And I'm just like, we make it into the dorm room.
Yeah.
Takes a turn for the worse. Now we forgot about the guy, we forgot about the spades. My friends are trying to like help me get my hair wrapped. Because, you know, Black girl hair, you can't just leave it out. You got to wrap it else. You might look crazy in the morning.
Right.
Helping me throw up in a bathroom. That's why these girls are troopers. I mean, they're holding my hair back so I can throw up, wrapping my hair while I use the bathroom. I mean, like, I'm like actively peeing.
Yeah. It's going everywhere.
As it's going everywhere. I think this ring that I really love dropped in the toilet.
Oh.
And my friends were just like, fuck this. This is where I draw the line.
Right. They were like, I'm sorry, girl.
Two of them stayed. They're like, oh, it's fine. It's just pee.
Yeah. Well,
we'll help her get it out of the toilet.
Yeah.
But then I think I might have let out some gas.
Yeah.
That turned into poop.
Oh my God. They were like, we signed up for the ring.
And it's like, I don't even love my mother this much.
Yeah.
So only one person stayed to help me, which I did not even expect because had I been sober, I would have never helped her. I'm not wiping nobody's ass.
Right.
The next morning, this person just so happens to be my roommate.
Mm-hmm.
She's like waiting for me to wake up. And she's telling me, she's like, you can't be friends with these other girls anymore. And I'm like, why not? She's like, because they're not really your friends because they left you in the bathroom by yourself, so you have to stop talking to them. And that and that's kind of like how the story ends, with now the split up of my friends and this girl like trying to convince me to not be these other girlfriends because I was blacked out and she felt like she did the most by wiping my ass. And I was just like,
it's like, I still have shit under my fingernails. Don't talk to them.
I was like, they were there for the most important part, which was helping me obtain Ryan.
Yeah.
And they got me back to the dorm. So, bitch, I mean, this is why you have to put people in different tier friendship levels.
Yes, agreed. Oh
yeah.
my God. So what ended up happening with the roommate? Did you stay friends with her?
Oh, no. Well, she's like super passive aggressive. So I just basically continued to bully her for the rest of my college career. That like she was my roommate.
Yeah.
I just did passive aggressive things. Like this other guy that I ended up seeing, he was really into basketball. So we like forced her to let her use her TV so that we could watch the game. And she was like a pushover. So she would be like, fine.
Yeah. Oh my God. College, first of all, that was absolutely wild and crazy. I did not expect, I've had those nights where you're either on the end of it, where you're the one who's so sloppy, or you're helping people who are sloppy. And my one rule is I do not let drunk people boss me around. And I'm like, I had a friend who was throwing up once, and she was like, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to eat this. And my other friend was like, okay, you don't have to. And I was like, bitch, yes, she does. She has nothing in her system. Eat this chicken tender. Like, what are you talking about? So, for all the friends that stayed, even up until right before the shit, we salute them.
Definitely. Troopers.
But college roommates are complicated. I did cocaine once at a party my junior year, and my college roommate wasn't even there. And she told the girl whose party it was, she was like, Rocky did coke at your party. And I'm like, what? You weren't even there. Like, we're supposed to have each other's back. We're supposed to like be in these dorms together. Why are you making all this drama?
Yeah, college roommates are the worst. If you don't get a good one, I've only had one good college roommate.
Yeah.
But I also think it was one-sided, and I'm the only one who thought it was good.
You're like going around telling everybody how wonderful it is, and she's like, you know, this girl shits on her friends' fingers.
I was like, for the first time, I got the best roommate ever. But it got bad because that's when I ended up being pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, really?
And she was like our senior year of college.
Yeah.
And she was like, bitch, I hate you and you suck.
Yeah. She's like, I did not sign up to be a fucking, what is it? A
midwife.
Thank you. That's exactly. I did not sign up to be a midwife.
And that's exactly what she was.
She's looking over at you. She's like, is morning sickness contagious?
And I had sold her in to be in my roommate too. I had convinced her. I was like, it's gonna be so much fun.
Great.
I was like, you know how I get down? We're gonna turn up. I was like, oh, I'm pregnant, bitch.
Oh, surprise. So you got pregnant your senior year. Was that like, oh my goodness, life is handing me this incredible challenge? You probably had to grow up in a major way. Because I remember being a senior in college, and it is a maturity level that is very different. It's a very different maturity level.
It is. It was like I was the only adult in a seat full of children.
Yeah.
You would have never thought these kids were in college. They were like, "Oh my God, you still pregnant?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It typically takes 9 months, and I don't even know if that's the full school year. So yes, I am still pregnant.
That's the thing.
But yeah, I mean, I still was like trying my best to do college things and hang out. But I obviously like not drinking or anything like that.
Yeah, of course.
So that was the bum part.
Yeah, it was like a balancing act, I imagine. But a very worthy balancing act, and something I'm sure you're super happy with. Now, how does that play out in the real world? You come out into the real world, you have your baby, and now you're a comedian.
Yes. Came out into the real world. I did not work.
Okay.
I was just like, I'm going to live my soft life and take care of my baby.
Yes.
Got into comedy. Funny story how I did that. Felt like it wasn't like every other comedian. Like I didn't grow up watching comedy. It was like, I'm going to do comedy.
Yeah.
a friend of mine took a class, and then I actually ended up taking a class as well, which I know is frowned upon in the comedy community, but I didn't know anything. So I like do this class, and I'm like, oh, I'm good at this shit.
Right. You're like, I'm
And
nailing
I
it.
realized why the class is frowned upon. I'm like, oh, these people are losers.
They wouldn't know a joke
Like,
if it hit him in the face. Yeah.
I was like, why am I here? But I felt like I needed that to know that I would be good at it and know that it was something that I could actually pursue.
Yeah.
So yeah, ever since I did that at Caroline's, and ever since then it's like really taken off. It's been about like 5 years now.
So you felt it once you did it, you were like this is what I'm meant to do. I'm called to this.
Yeah, it's honestly the only thing that I've done that I've been consistent with and truly dedicated to. I mean, I've had a blog.
And you
I thought I was going to be a lawyer.
Right?
Yeah, that's coming back. That's going to come back.
Yes.
But I thought I was going to be a lawyer. I mean, girl, I paid for LSAT classes. Like,
really?
And I was like, this is absolutely not for me. But comedy, that joy that I felt in my heart, just like the first time performing, like making people laugh, it was just like, I want to have this forever.
Yeah. And with comedy, it is such, there's no roadmap, right? Some people get in by taking classes. Some people get in because they're like, oh, I've always wanted to do an open mic. Let me do this. Or I've always wanted to write, like even outside of stand-up, not just limiting it to that. People just jump and say, oh, I've never taken this class, or I've never tried this thing. Fuck it, I'm going to do it. So the roadmap for everybody's career and success in comedy is not the same. And there's no linear roadmap. Since in the last 5 years, since you've been doing it, what has been the most surprising thing that's happened to you, where you've looked at yourself like at the end of the night and been like, wow, I can't believe that happened to me. This is so cool. I'm on the right path.
The most surprising thing, I guess, I don't know. That's a great question. Let me think about that. I mean, the coolest thing would be obviously when I met Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is great. You know what? Actually, I think it would be, so I thought an annual show, the 3rd of Jenae.
Okay.
So not last year, but the year before last. It just was such an amazing feeling that everyone thought, like, they were like, oh, you were recording a comedy special? Yeah. And I was like, no. And it was a lot of like, my comedy peers, people that have been doing comedy longer than me.
Yeah.
That I had like really looked up to. And I was like, oh, you thought my shit was fire? Like, let me send this to Netflix. So it really motivated me into feeling like, all right, maybe I'm doing the right thing. Let me just keep working on these jokes. Like, I'm gonna make it someday. Because this person does have, a special on Comedy Central or whatever the case may be. And if they think I'm doing the right things.
Yeah, and they're gravitating to you.
Yeah, and giving me positive feedback. So I was just like, okay, let me just keep trucking along.
Are you going to continue with the 3rd of Jenae?
Yes. Still looking for a destination for this year, but last year was at SLB's. Trying to find a spot for this year.
You sure will. Now, I'm going to ask, what is the Dave Chappelle story? How did you meet Dave?
At the stand.
Yeah.
So he's like always at the stand. It was like one of the first nights where he like first really started coming and hanging out. It was during the pandemic. So it was still super hype for everybody. And I remember I got downstairs. I just like stood there for like a little bit of a while because I was too jittery.
Yeah.
Like all the blunts I was smoking, like all the spliffs, and I was still like, oh shit, like I don't even know if I could go see
I'm not calm right now. Yeah.
I was like, let me get another hit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. It's so simple and so basic. I was just like, hey, I'm Jenae. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, no, thank you. Like, you got it. Thank you for being a comic and, coming out here. And I was like, oh my God. Dave Chappelle thanks me.
Did everybody hear that?
I was like, do you think you say this on the microphone? No, I'm kidding.
He's tall, right?
Yeah. Well, everyone's tall compared to me. I'm like 5'2", so.
Oh yeah, then everyone's towering over you. That is a presence.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's amazing that you got to talk to him, and in such an amazing club too. The stand is so much fun.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think I immediately ran to the hallway at like 3 a.m. and called my mom.
That's so cool, Jenae. Well, it definitely to me sounds like you are just on a track where life is just going to keep giving you these gifts and surprises and joyful moments. And that just makes me so happy. One question I forgot to ask you. Whatever happened with Mr. Tuesday Thursday?
So I realized he wasn't my type.
Uh-huh.
After we graduated college, I was like, oh, let me see what this person is doing.
Yeah.
And then he was just giving me very like eccentric, like, black eye. Yeah, like doing the most, but like not in the way I like to do the
Yes,
most. I
yes.
live more of like the fab life,
Yeah, gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
I was just like, let me move on.
Yeah.
Just a college crush.
Yes.
Doing the most for no reason, clearly. Yeah, I got absolutely nothing out of it, but looking like the Walking Dead.
Meanwhile, he's biting your style later on, years later.
Basically.
Well, Jenae, can you let everybody know where they can find you online and follow you?
Yes, you can definitely follow me at That's So Jenae. I also have a Cash App, That's So Jenae. No, I'm kidding. LinkedIn, if you know somebody that's
I was gonna say, kidding, unless you want to actually send some money, then there you go.
Right. Kidding, not kidding.
Kidding, not kidding.
And then also got a show coming up in Boston on 4/27 and 4/28. I will be at Comedy in Harlem.
Amazing. Well, Jenae, this has just been like, when I tell you authentically, my cheeks are hurting right now because this has just been like the smiliest, funniest, most joyful episode. So I thank you so, so much for your time. And you and I will talk soon, okay?
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. Bye.